Awesome.
Yeah. Anyways, anybody want to share something before we start about what you've learned, how you've applied it, this, that, and the other?
I think this basically, from what I'm learning, is just, it's really, really good information. And I think that since, I've been so many places right now, and my mind hasn't just been in one area, but I know that this is something that we use that chair right there. We actually need this type of training to kind of reverse a lot of the way that we were taught, originally, about holding on to. Oh, you need something to lean back on? Okay, because this is low.
Yeah,
right.
Low.
So the way we were thought about money, and just like how you mentioned about the money you have, we don't want to try to invest it. We want to hold on to it because we don't want to take the risks, because we're so used to okay, we get it, put it in a savings account and just watch it grow just in small fractions.
And then,
and then it's not really doing anything for us. And then, like I was mentioning, all the people that I do see that are successful are the people who have their own business, who have their own enterprise, who have their, LLC, who are doing something, and that the ordinary, 9 to 5, 8 to 4 job is not basically cutting it, and it's not going to happen unless you are the person who have created that particular company. So I think it's getting beyond our point of where we are so fearful of the unknown. I think that we are so trained and that we're so taught that we can't see above where we're at right now unless we think outside of and you're talking about there's no box or whatever.
And I'm glad you said that. The two things, the fear, and we're going to get to the fear and decision making. But even like you said, we can't see, and it's like most of us, especially back in the day, you got paid once a week, and then they started doing every 2 weeks. And for the most part, that's the typical job every 2 weeks. So most people can't see past or further than their next paycheck.
Yeah.
And so, you get it. You work 2 weeks, you get a check on that Friday, and your mind can only play out the next 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about investing, your mind has to play out months. And that's where the problem comes in at. You haven't been conditioned to see money in the big scope of it. We've been conditioned to see money in the consumer or in the consumption perspective. So we get paid on Friday and we're broke by Monday. And all we do is say, okay, how do I get this last bit of money to last till Friday? And then you get paid on Friday and you broke by Monday, and this, how do I get this last bit of money to last till Friday? So we can only see from Friday to Friday, and nowadays we can only see from Friday to 2 weeks from now Friday,
or maybe Friday to Monday.
Right, but wealthier people who invest, people who use strategy, they'll make a decision financially in January that won't even pay off until June, and they're fine with that. Do you see what I'm saying? Because they're not living from check to check. They're looking at their life from a grander perspective. You see what I'm saying?
The financial class.
I know that we as a people are the biggest consumers.
I'll call you back.
Black people.
Yeah.
And I just want to piggyback off of what you were saying this morning with the affirmations. I can't afford that. And that's not.
Were you listening to the radio this morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so
I wish I got a chance. I was driving.
And to say that how can we afford it is something, a totally different concept of what we've learned. We grew up. And so to change the affirmation, that's something that has to start not only with us, but as a generation. And I know first generation, there's first generation, second generation, and with us, as you're teaching us, maybe we can change
and that's exactly right.
Of the affirmation with our children and our grandchildren.
That's right.
So far, it's not been changed because I can't afford it. It's every generation that
I can't afford it. I can't afford it. But nobody's saying, how can I afford it?
So now the affirmations, once we learn what we need to do as far as speaking and talking, maybe then that will change our children and their children
Right.
and their children.
Absolutely.
Affirmation.
So, because even this, I hear people say this: I don't have no money to invest. I don't have enough money to be trying to invest in anything. I can barely pay the bills. But they never say to themselves, I wonder what I could do so I can have some money to invest. That's not the question. It's always, I just don't have that kind of money to invest, and that's it. End all be all. But never saying, I don't have money to invest, but I want money to invest. What do I need to do to have some money to invest? They never ask. And if you never ask, you never get creative. Your brain doesn't ever start creating those answers. You know, one is a statement, and when you put a period behind it, you're finished. But one is a question that sends you on a journey. At least it gets your imagination going. You know what I'm saying? And so you've got to get to a point where you realize, I can't just be a week-to-week liver. I can't just be an every 2 week kind of person. You got to get to a point where, you know, the whole idea of wealth, and I know we're working with you personally. You got a little bit of emergency fund now. You got a little bit of miscellaneous money now. You got money put aside for investing now. And even, okay, and for instance, she's been putting money aside for investing, right? And it's not enough yet to invest. But it's being set aside. It's being put there.
Right.
And so now her mind has to go from, I got a check on Friday, and I get to spend it now, to I have money over here, I don't get to spend it now, and I'll get to spend it later on down the road. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's exercising your muscles. It's actually exercising your wealth muscles, because what wealth is owning time. You know, it's kind of like I tell people, you can have money, and money either will buy you stuff. And stuff being cars, houses, jewelry, clothing. So money can get you stuff, or money can buy you time. Because we say this all the time. Time is money, right?
Right.
But if you really thought that time was money, if you really believed it, why are you wasting your time doing whatever it is you're doing that didn't reap you anything? Because so now we're not saying you. So again, if time is money, why would you waste your time on the phone with her or him?
Right.
Why do you waste your time going to that stuff or that stuff? Now let's switch it. You're not wasting time. You're wasting money. You just said time is money. Do you have money to waste? If the answer is no, and time is money, why would you be on the phone with her for 3 hours talking about nothing? Because you just wasted money. No, I didn't. Well, didn't you just say time is money? I just wasted time. Time is money. So you really wasted money.
Right.
Now let's say if your hour is worth $15. That's what you get paid every hour. $15 to work. So my hour in the marketplace or the exchange for money, my hour is worth $15. I just spent 3 hours of my time talking to my sister about our brother and how stupid his wife is. You wasted $45. Do you see what I'm saying? So if you could see it that way, it would change the dynamic of how we do everything. So second, the idea that time is money is, if you understand that time is money, you need to own time. And so the idea of owning time is, so let's say your rent is $1,000. Okay? And it's January. February comes, you do your taxes. And then you get $5,000 back from your taxes, which is your money in the first place. So you didn't get it back. It's already yours. You didn't make nothing. Right. So you get your money back, $5,000. And this is what you do. You say, I got $5,000. I'm not buying a TV. I'm not buying no outfits. I'm not about to go buy the grandbabies a bunch of clothes. God bless the grandbabies. I'm not knocking the grandbabies. But what I am going to do is take my $5,000 and pay my mortgage up for 5 months. So God, now you own 5 months. That's what owning time is. You see what I'm saying? So now I own 5 months. If something happens to me and I can't work, I don't worry about it. I own 5 months already. But 5 months is going to run out because time runs out. Do you see what I'm saying? So the idea is to own as much time as you can. And you ever seen, well, you ever heard, I know we haven't seen it, but have you ever heard somebody say Michael Jordan's kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids will never have to work? You know why? So watch this. That's 3 generations. And let's say a generation is 50 years. Just for easy math. So that's 150 years. So what they're saying is Michael Jordan owns 150 years.
Wow.
Do you get that?
That's deep.
I'm going to die. I may not be here in that 150 years. And so even inside of that 150 years, he's still here. His kid is still here. And maybe his grandbaby is here. I have 3 people eating off of the 150 years that I own. They don't have to work. I don't have to work. You guys get that? Mm-hmm. That's what wealth is. Mm-hmm. Owning time. And how much time do you own? You can own so much time that you can leave it to your children. And how do you leave time to your children? We own that house.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
There's no note on that house. All we pay is taxes on that house.
On the house. That's it.
And you can do this. You can pay your taxes ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So you could technically pay a year of taxes. Done. You can pay 2 years of taxes. Done. And if taxes go up, they have to pay the difference. But you get my point. Right. So you can leave your grandbaby a house that's paid for. So now that grandbaby lives in a house and owns time because you paid for it. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. So the idea is to own time. But we're so afraid we cannot own time because we live check to check. I own a week. I might own a weekend. Do you see what I'm saying? Because when you ask this question, when you measure wealth, is how long can you not work and still live your current lifestyle?
Can you mention that you said when you're measuring wealth, you basically see how long you could live. Can you repeat that? How long you can live your current lifestyle if you don't have a job? Okay.
So watch this. So let's, God forbid, Martha, you go to work tomorrow. They say you're fired, and people say, "I'm not worried about that. Why? I own 2 years. I'm okay. I'm gonna take my time and find the kind of job I want." You're not tripping? No, I own 2 years. What do you mean? My car note is paid for 2 years, or it's paid off. My house is paid for 2 years, or it's paid off. Or my emergency fund is so stacked, I got 50 grand in my emergency fund. You see what I'm saying? Right. So, and my bills are only $2,000 a month. So 50 grand, if you have 50 grand in the bank, and your bills are only $2,000 a month, how long can you live? 5 years. So that means that you own 5 years. You're 5 years wealthy. You see what I'm saying?
That's good.
But the problem is this. You save 50 grand and it runs out in 5 years. What have you done with that money that's kicking out more money so you can own more time? And just saving your money is not the answer.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can basically see that, with what you might get in the bank as far as any kind of interest or.
Well, the bank is what, 0.08% a year.
It's not really
so,
high.
It's pennies. I get a dividend check from Navy Federal for 11 cents at the end of the year. Little stuff like that.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense.
Or if I got a decent amount of money, for $2.
Mm-hmm.
That's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It is.
So
the banks are not basically set up for you to basically make money. They're
Not at
set
all.
up basically to take your money because any kind of
they use your money
to make money.
Mm-hmm.
They took Sophia's money. You got 10 grand in your account. She comes in the bank and asks the bank, "Can I borrow $5,000?" They take your 10. They take 5 of your out of your 10. Give her the 5,000. Charge you 10% interest. So they made so much money on you and gave you back your $5,000. So you see what I'm saying? So that number one, that's horrible. But yeah, you got to get to a point where you realize saving money eventually runs out. Somebody says, "I saved 60 grand." Okay, what are you doing with that 60 grand? Nothing. Well, it's gonna run out. How do you know? Because you eventually have to spend it.
Yeah.
Well, I got 70 grand saved up for when I retire. Okay, sounds great. $70,000 is 2 years, 3 years.
At the most.
Well, I'm gonna get a part-time job. Okay, then make it last 6 years. It's still gonna run out, and you're gonna have to get a full-time job eventually, or go live with your babies, or go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or sell the house and go get a $100 a month studio apartment, whatever. You know what I mean? So when you look at the way we make decisions for our money, we always make decisions. Well, I won't say always, but the great majority of us make decisions the majority of the time from the perspective of short-term thinking financially. We make our decisions financially from Monday to Friday.
Yeah, that's true.
And even your best guy, he makes his maybe 30 days. He sits down, sees what all his bills are, and say, "We're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this," and feels like I'm achieving something. But it's just 30 days, bud.
Because basically, he's budgeting out what he has.
Basically, he's just budgeting out what he's got coming in and what he's going to do with
even
it.
with budgeting.
You know, and so we got to start having our minds expand. When you start spending money, it should be with this idea: what am I doing with my money that's going to get me some wealth? What am I doing with my money that's going to get me some time, that's going to buy me some time? And then, what am I going to do with my money that continues to buy me time even when I can't go work for my money? And it's a great bit of America who have what they call good jobs, decent jobs, and all they know, though, is save their money. And when they get ready to retire, they're going to start pinching off that savings, and they're going to watch it dwindle down. You've got to have something bringing money in that doesn't require you to be present.
Can I borrow a sheet of your paper? I'm not coming from home. I'm coming from working, so I didn't even get a chance to make it back home. I'm like, yeah. Oh, one sheet is good.
Well, I'll just give it so you can write on the back of it. So it can be kind of thick when you write on it.
Thank you.
And even when I watch people who have real estate licenses, and I'm not knocking it, whatever you do. They're like, I want to get into real estate because that's where the money is. And that's true. Owning land, owning houses. But owning land and owning houses, not selling somebody else's.
Right. I was going to do real estate one time.
The truth of the matter is, selling real estate is no different from having a good job. Mm-hmm. You're running somebody else's company, getting pennies, next to what they're getting.
That's right.
Selling somebody else's house, getting pennies next to what they're getting. And it ain't even the guy selling the house that's getting the money. It's the banks, because they own the house.
You get the commission off of that.
3%.
They don't have
And then that 3% is not even all yours.
Right.
Too many people have to eat off that 3%. I know a lot of real estate agents.
The one too in the commission, she has to give commission. It's not
So it's 3%, not 7%, because some real estate agents, it's like, maybe it depends on what state you're in.
Perhaps, but the average person is making 3% on a real estate deal. Yeah. And then everybody gets a bite out of that.
That's it. Yeah.
So it's no different. I don't want to sell your house to that guy and only make 3%. I want to sell my house to that guy and make all the money.
Make all the commission of it.
So even if I was going to do real estate, I would do it in a way where what I'm doing is going to make me money. I got to go buy me some houses. I got to go flip me some houses. But I can't just keep flipping houses. Why? Because eventually all the money I'm saving is going to run out. You still have to figure out a way to have money coming in even when you're not working.
Yes.
So even if I'm flipping houses, I'm going to eventually take a little bit of time and buy one. Rent it out. Buy another one. Rent it out. Buy another one. Rent it out. I can't just keep making decisions that get me from Monday to Friday. I can't keep doing that. You know what I mean? You got to be able to think long term. A good friend of mine, you probably heard me talk about him. It's one of the most beautiful stories, and I love it. He had $100,000 line of credit with his business account. Some land came available for sale. The guy was getting a divorce. He wanted like $100,000 for both pieces, a piece. Well, he took 40 for both of them because he just wanted to get out of it. So he can get, so he sold it for 40 grand. So the guy just took it. He didn't use his money. He used the bank's money. He took his line of credit and bought the land. You see what I'm saying? So he said, so out of that $100,000 of line of credit, he said, give me 40 of it. Wrote this guy a check for 40 grand and got the 2 pieces of land. He took those 2 pieces of land back to the same bank, used it for a down payment on a $400,000 loan to build a building for his business. And then, I think 5 years later, he sold his business. He still owns the building. The business is in the building, so the new person who bought the business is renting the building from him and paying back his loan. Long term. Can you see far out? And then he said this. He said, I was like, how in the world am I going to pay a $4,000 a month payment on this $400,000 loan? He said, I'll figure it out. And he did. But the point I'm making is he was able to see from today, years later. And most people, poor people, broke people, people with no money, people with this idea that I got to hold on to everything and I'm scared and I only live from Monday to Friday and I can't let this money go because Monday, those people would have been like, how am I going to pay back that $40,000? Man, I'm not doing all that. And you can't be afraid. I remember back in the day we used to play cards. We used to play tunk in school. Like our lunchroom was like a casino. The good old days. So in high school, we just was gambling, shooting dice and playing cards. And they used to say, scared money don't win. How much you bet? $1. Well, that's all you're going to win. We bet 10, then you can win $10. You know what I'm saying? And although we ain't trying to gamble, but I remember that idea. To be fearful with your money means you're going to always be broke. Because you're afraid to make large decisions. You're afraid to make big decisions. You only know how to make decisions from Monday to Friday. And I lived it. Paid on Friday, broke by Monday. And now I got to figure out how to make it to Friday again. And that's the decisions that we make. We Monday to Friday. 5-day decision makers. And now most of us, we can do 14 days. Because that's when we get paid, every 2 weeks. So 14-day decision makers. That cannot be how you are. That cannot be how you live. You got to start asking yourself, when you get your money, when you get your paychecks, when you get money in your hands, what do I do with this? Like really ask yourself, what should I do with this? What should I do with this that's going to make me more money? What can I do with this that's going to make me more money? Who do I know that I can call and ask what to do with this so it'll make me more money? And that'll restructure. It should start to, and if it's like, man, I ain't got nobody to call. Okay, I got to do something. But now you're asking questions. Remember, if you ask questions, you get creative. Your imagination gets to flowing. But if it's just like, yeah, I got $50 extra. I don't know if I'll put it in the bank. Well, you need to invest it. I don't know how to do that. Well, what you going to do? I don't know. I'm done. I can't invest nothing. And you're just done. But when you start asking, what do I do with this? Where do I put this? I don't know. Okay, but that's not. I'm not cool with that answer. Who do I ask? Man, I don't have nobody to ask. Man, then you say, wow, okay, well, I need to change my environment, and it starts you on a journey because you live a life now of asking the right questions, opposed to I can't afford that. I can't invest no money. I don't know how to invest no money. I'm scared I'm gonna lose my money. I ain't got time to be investing because I ain't got time to lose no money. If we saying all that stuff, you're stuck. But if you start asking yourself the right questions, so that's where you are. What decisions are you making with your money? And I want you to think about this, and I want to talk about this. When you're making financial decisions, what are you thinking? Talk to me. When you're making financial decisions, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking.
What are you trying to do? Do you get my point?
Now, when you talk about as far as getting a paycheck and just thinking about what you want, for me, I think it's basically thinking about how I could pay down these bills and get them paid off as soon as possible.
Okay, then what?
What can I basically, how much do I have left to put aside into a savings account? Or what else can I basically, do? Like, say for instance, this is a class where it's helping me to probably get to the place that I want to get to. Because since I'm in bookkeeping, I eventually want to have a bookkeeping business, on the side until I could get clientele build up, because I don't want to lose that skill.
Right.
QuickBooks is, a financial. Most companies use QuickBooks that do. So I want to be able to put money aside to buy, my desktop is too old, and then buy the QuickBooks program, and then I want to start generating clients, small by small, till I get somewhere,
right.
With it.
So what about you? When you get money, what are you trying to do?
Have more money.
But think about you now. Think about yourself now, and when you get money in your hands, what does your mind say? How do you make your decision?
That's a good question.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
How are you thinking?
And then let me show you the small medium.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I can tell you, like when I get money in my hands, especially if I'm focused, I get money in my hands. The first thing I say is, "Okay, God, what is this for?"
This is the one.
How much of it, and again, this is me, how much of it do I spend on myself? And how much of it do I sow into others? That's just my question.
And that is something that I do. I do that. I sow into the ministry,
right? But not
church,
just doing it out of habit,
right?
But a conscious thought. How much do I, and then when I say, okay, why do I sow into others? Like I'm conscious. I'm conscious on why I sow into others. People say, "What are you doing?" I'm sowing over there. Why? Because I need seed in the ground. Why? I can tell you, like, it's, you know what I'm saying? I'm making these decisions not based on willy-nilliness, and people hear me say this all the time. When I was trying to raise this 10 grand to invest, I started to look at who owes me money, but not to go collect, to release.
Wow.
And why would you do that? Don't you need money? Yeah, that's why I call them up and say, you can keep it. Why would you do that? Because I'm sowing. Because I need people to release me.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? I'm trying to find new finances. I'm trying to find new investors. I'm trying to find, so let me sow in the areas that I'm trying to reap from.
Trust me.
So that's the idea. It's not just I'm just sowing. No, it's very particular, very on purpose. You know, I just got an account. I just started teaching. I got a contract through a friend of mine in the elementary school doing leadership training. So the first check I got, I'm taking the whole check and I'm sowing it. Why would somebody do that? Because I believe, number one, I believe reaping and sowing, but even from a more biblical perspective, the Bible talks about first fruits. So that's the first check that I got from doing a contract like this. So, I would love to have more contracts like this. So I'm taking the first check and sowing the entire first check to say, okay, God, I'm sowing this first check because I want to do more of these. So I'm going to sow it. It's still, that's my thinking. That's my decision. The decisions I'm making is still in line with what I'm doing. It's not just because.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I look at my life and say, okay, now I got to get some seed in the ground. I got to go sow something somewhere because I know what I'm after. You know, so when I get money, that's what I do that. And then how much do I consume on me? You know, I believe that when we get money, we're eating away at sometimes the portion that's not ours. Have you ever heard the verse that says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children? And it's not your children, it's your grandchildren.
That's what people
Children's children is your grandchildren.
People don't understand that.
Your mama was supposed to leave an inheritance for your children.
That's it.
You're supposed to leave an inheritance for your children's children.
Grandchildren.
And your children are supposed to leave an inheritance for not theirs, because you took care of theirs, their great grandchildren. And the idea behind this is money gets to sit for 2 generations. So now imagine this. Remember, got to be a big thinker. So my son is one son is 20, and one is 15. The one that's 20, I'm trying to get him to think. I'm trying to get him to see what I'm talking about. If you got your first job at 15, and you were a coachable individual, and your mama said, "Look, baby, I need you to start saving money for your grandchildren." I'm 15. I ain't even got a boyfriend. You see what I'm saying? But don't worry about it. So you say, okay, I'll do that. Just $10 a week or every 2 weeks, you know, out of your little $100. So you got $20 a month going to an investment account from 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 through your college years. You're making a little bit more money now. So that $20 a month now, let's say $50 a month. Then you get your first real job. Now that $50 a month is, let's say, $100. You're 25. So that's 10 years. The money had just been sitting on low cook, compound interest, that nobody's been touching. Now you're 25 years old and you meet your boyfriend. And you guys get married at 30. Now you're married at 30. Now you got 2 incomes with the singular goal, because he's smart enough to listen to his wife. Baby, I've been saving money for the grandkids since I was 15 years old. He said, my mama never taught me that, but I think that's a great idea. So now both of y'all checks, you know, now you put $200 a month. You finally have a child at 32, whatever, and you're still doing it. But it ain't for this kid that you're having. So now this kid grows up, this kid turns 15, and you're telling this kid, look, I need you to start putting away money for your grandkids. You teach the same thing your mama taught you. But remember, you've been doing it from 15 years old. Now you're 35. Your child got to get, and so if you're 30, let's say you had a baby at 30. Your child's now 5 years old. You see what I'm saying? So you've been doing this now for 20 years. Your baby now is 5 years old. She ain't even got no husband yet. She's 5. So now she got to get 25, meet somebody. So from 5 to 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 20. That's another 40 years. So now you add to that 40. That's 60 years now that you've been saving money in the investment account. And nobody's touched it for 60 years. You guys follow me? Mm-hmm. And now she finally meets her guy at 25. 60 years money's been sitting. Then she gets married. And they had their first baby at 30. That's 65 years now. And then that baby got to get 20. So that's 75. Hey, that's 85 years. Now that grandbaby is 20 years old and she gets her inheritance. Do you see what I'm saying? Can you think that long? And most people can't.
No, because they've never been trained to do that.
They ain't been trained to.
They've never been
But
trained.
some people have. There's millions of millionaires that's been trained just like that. And all of their grandkids come into the world with what they call trust funds.
Yes.
So now you got your grandbaby just turned 20 and she gets her trust fund. And it's been sitting on compound interest, low boil for 80 years. She's got millions of dollars. She don't have to figure out what I want to do for a living. The living is made. Now she owns time. And what can you do when you own time? Change the world. God, what am I here for? Let me try doctorate. It didn't work. Well, how can you just quit? Because I'm not trying to make a living. I'm finding my purpose. Do you see what I'm saying? Generational wealth. But again, how can we think one generation, 2 generations, 3 generations down the road if we only can think from Monday to Friday? 14-day thinkers. So how do you change somebody from making decisions financially? Because if you can only see 14 days down the road, your decisions are going to be limited. Very, very small-minded choices. So I got to change your mind from 14-day decisions to 80-year decisions. You guys understand that?
Yes, we understand.
And this is how you got to change the way you think. And that's why I said, what are you doing when you get money? What are you trying to do? Like, what are you trying to make happen? And that's the idea. What am I trying to make happen? Okay, God, I got this $100 check here. What can I do with it? Where can I put it? If I save it, how much? What am I trying to create? So our decisions, man, our decisions are affected by our short-sightedness where money is concerned. You know, you ever heard anybody say you got to play the long game? You can't be short-sighted. Why'd you quit? I just couldn't take it no more. Dude, all you had to wait was for a minute. The company was merging. They was gonna have a new manager in here in a minute. I can't make decisions long term. I gotta move right now.
I couldn't take it out.
My emotions are
ready to go.
are you know what I'm saying? But we've taught ourselves only make short term decisions. All we do, just think about our lives. It's all short term decisions. It's all short term decisions. It's all short term decisions. Real fast, short term decisions. Most people don't have anything in their life that they actually sat down, planned out, and walked out for more than 2 months. You understand what I'm saying? Our decision, our ability to see has got to expand beyond that first paycheck. It's got to. Because short-sightedness is an indicator. I don't know if it's an indicator of fear or if it creates fear. Because when you're short-sighted, you make decisions as if you have no tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You make decisions as if this is going to be like this forever.
It's short-sighted.
This is not going to change, so I'll make a decision right now. Short-sighted. But if you could have just saw tomorrow, you wouldn't have done that.
The decision would have been different.
Right, because you have a longer vision and realize, oh, this will go away. Oh, this won't be like this always. Oh, this will. I did. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I would have made different decisions if I knew so and so. Well, you acted too fast, short-sighted. Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
You gotta go out there and ask yourself the right questions. I can't keep making decisions for the weekend. I can't keep making decisions for week to week or every 2 week choices. I gotta start making decisions with my grandchildren in mind.
Long-term.
Well, you don't even married yet. That's my point. I'm a long-sighted individual. I will have grandchildren one day, and I gotta start making decisions for them even now.
Yeah.
I will have a husband one day. I gotta start making decisions now. I don't want bad credit when I get married.
Yeah.
But if you're short-sighted, you don't even realize. And what do people say? Stuff like, if I had realized that one day I would be married and we'd need to buy a house, I wouldn't have jacked up my credit like that. If I had realized, I heard somebody say, if I realized I would have lived this long, I would have taken better care of myself. But people, they're short-sighted. They don't even think, one day you're going to be 80. Why are you eating like you ain't got no sense? One day you're going to be 75. Why are you just throwing money? If I had just known I was going to live this long, I would have took better care of myself. If I had known that I was going to have 5 kids, I would have had some more money saved. If I had known, that's my point. You could have knew if you had allowed yourself to be longer sighted and not just short sighted. All these quick decisions and quick choices. That's why I'm asking, when you get your money and it's time to make decisions, how are you making these decisions? What are you basing them on? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to create? You ever walked in a room and saw your kid just frustrated, messing with something, and you walk in like, dude, what are you trying to do? Yes? And it's like, dude, what are you doing? I can't do. What are you trying to do? Okay, so what are you trying to do?
Calm down,
right,
and think.
And we say, no, what? No, that's not how you do that. Da, 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 da. Yeah. And that's what I ask people. What are you trying to do? Most people are not even trying to leave money to their grandchildren. They're not even trying to have investment money coming in. They're not even trying to retire well. What are you trying to do? I'm just trying to get through the weekend.
That's it. That's what you hear them say.
And that's what they say. I'm just trying to get to that next paycheck. I'm just trying to get these bills paid.
And that's enough. That's it. If I'm good.
And that's all they're trying to do.
I like to say about as far as thinking, because it's not so much the thinking, but the question process. Now, when you said that, and it brought me to it. Now, and I've always did it all my life. I paid my tithes, so I've always did the tip. But to ask the question, God, what to do with this? Then, and I've always given in church and gave big, so that's no problem there. But to ask Him what to actually do, and then he affirms that.
Yeah,
I love that what you said. What
is this for?
Because people don't do that. They don't do that.
No.
I don't know if you're with other people that are not
I get it.
But the attempts, I've always, that's automatic.
Right, but even now, watch this.
Even if it's automatic, it's still when you said the question when you asked Him.
Because this is the thing too. Even with your tithe and even with your giving, right? I had a young lady call me up. What time is it? Okay, we're almost done. I had a young lady call me up, very, very, very good friend of mine, and she says, I'm going to stop tithing. I'm just going to stop tithing and giving because I'm broke. It ain't working. And I said, okay. I said, so when you tithe and when you give, are you expecting something back?
There you go.
And she said, no, you're not supposed to give and expect something back. I said, who told you that? I said, would you ever sow a rose seed in the ground and not expect a rose to come up? Would you ever invest in Nike and not expect a dividend check? Where in the world do you sow something and not expect to see the fruit?
First of all, she didn't know the word because it said give, and it shall be given unto you.
Everybody hears that, but they don't get taught that.
The word.
You see what I'm saying? So even when you're giving, why are you giving? When I tithe, I know why I'm tithing. It says to rebuke the devourer from my sake. What does that even mean? Do you know? Or are you just tithing because they told you to?
That's good.
What's the devourer?
Yeah.
What does rebuke mean? Do you even know? So how are you tithing and you don't even know what to look for after you've tithed?
Expectation.
Right.
Expectation. That's good.
Do you see what I'm saying?
That's great.
So, and I'm not here to tell you that. Go look it up. Go find out what is devourer.
Mm-hmm.
So the devourer. What is the devourer then? Is it and how often is the devourer in my life? And what does rebuke him mean? What does rebuke the devourer mean? So rebuking the devourer does what for me? Like, do you even know?
I think when it says rebuke the devourer.
Well, I'm not.
When the enemy comes to steal.
But again, I don't want you to think. I want you to say, I know what it means. It means this. I saw it. It means this. I saw it. It means that. I saw it. Too many people tell you what they think. I don't care what you think. How do you know? Because if you don't know a thing, how do you know what to look for? How do you know what to expect?
That's something like a lot of times when I talk with people, and I say it's okay to know what your pastor say, but have you looked it up? Have you actually saw the word?
You seen it? Yeah.
Read the word and
do you know why?
You know it yourself.
Right. So even
you
when
just
I
heard it,
absolutely,
and that was it.
So I told her, I said, and when you give, do you know why you're giving? Do you choose where you give? And when you choose where you give, why do you choose there to give? I know why I give. I know why I give where I give, and I'm very picky on where I choose to give.
What ground you put the seed in?
Because you got to put it in good ground.
Yeah, fertile ground. It has to be fertile.
You got to be fertile. So I don't sow money into broke people expecting a money return. They're not good ground for money. It's apparently that they're not good ground for money. They're broke. They don't know what to do with money.
Yes.
So very rarely do I give broke people money anyways. I will pay your light bill for you. I'll take you down there and we'll pay it. I'm not giving you this money.
Right.
You don't know what to do with money. You've proven that. You understand what I'm saying?
But you like it so.
Right. So I'll go pay your light bill. I'll go buy you some groceries. Because I don't know me. When I was broke and people gave me money to go pay a bill, I didn't say it. I kept 10 for me and then paid the bill. You know people do that.
Yeah.
Go grocery shopping. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spend 20 on groceries. And I'm gonna go ahead and take the other 15 and buy. That you know what I'm saying?
That's it.
So I don't give poor people money in no ways. I'll pay the bill. But even when I do that, I know what I'm expecting back. The Bible says that my God shall supply all of my needs according to His riches and glory. So when I sow into poor people, it's not for a monetary return. It's for my need to be supplied. I'm not giving that poor guy money. I'm going to take care of your need and pay your light bill. So one day when Joseph has a need, I have my faith stretched out for somebody stepping up and taking care of my need. So I know why I sow into. I know why I do. I know when I do. Because I got to know what to look for.
That's good. That's good.
And that's what I mean. Decisions. If I'm gonna give $1 to a homeless guy, it ain't just cause I'm gonna be blessed. No, I give $1 to a homeless guy, and again, I don't typically give it. I say, "You hungry? Let's go buy you some food," and I go buy some food. I took a homeless guy in Walmart, bought him some socks and some T-shirts, and but and every now and then I feel in my heart, go ahead and give him $1, go ahead and give him a quarter, whatever. But for the most part, if they say I'm hungry, let's go buy you something to eat. But I'm very picky and choosy when I give. And then if I do give money, it's because I specifically felt, go ahead and give this dude some money. But other than that, I'm not giving you no money. And I'm not saying you got to do it. But what I'm saying is I'm aware of what I do, why I do it, what I do it for, where I put it.
That's good.
Because I got to think.
They get me all the time. Every time they come to the car, I just look at you.
And I'm not saying.
I understand what you're saying.
All I'm saying is, what are you, when you make decisions with your money, what are you trying to do?
Right. And that's great. And we don't answer that.
Have you even thought about it? Why did you get that guy some money? Because I'm supposed to. Why? Why do you put your money in church? I put my money in church. Don't get me wrong. I put it in there. But I can tell you why. All my point is,
understand. That is-
Why are you doing this? What are you trying to create with your finances? What are you doing this for? What are you trying? You walk in your baby's room and they frustrated, and that's what happens. You walk in somebody's financial world and they frustrated. And I'm like, and I give, and I tithe, and I go to work every day, and I'm trying to, and I'm like, okay, stop. What are you trying to do?
What's the purpose of what you're behind it?
Well, stop. Okay, stop. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to have a great retirement? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to leave an inheritance for your children's children? Are you? And you see it. They're frantic. I'm just trying to, and I need. Okay, I know. I go get another job, and I go back to school and get another degree, and then I'm just trying. And what are you trying to do? All of this movement and no real good decision making, because it's all short-term concepts. Short-term. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That's why you told us originally to put your short-term goals and your long-term goals
Right.
down. So you'll know.
So right, and you can see, and most of our short-term goals don't even relate to our long-term goals.
Yeah, that's true.
And I just want to know, why are you doing this? What are you doing? What are you thinking? Well, I'm gonna go pay this off. What are you thinking? Like, and I'm not knocking you. I know a guy. He's finna get 50 grand, and this guy says, "I'm finna pay off my house. Not necessarily a bad thing, but to pay off my house and pay off all my credit cards, pay off all my bills." And I heard him talking. I really would love to have guys say, "Why are you doing that? Why? Who? No real answer. Most people just say, that's what I want to do. Why?" I tell people like this, and I'm not saying it's a good thing to have a bunch of bills out there. I'm going to die with bills. If I get 50 grand, I'm not finna go pay off every bill. I'm finna take that 50 grand, and I'm finna find a way to make enough money to pay my bills. Again, what are you doing? Why? What are you trying to do? Why you finna pay off all them bills? You got $50,000 settlement. Finna go pay off all my bills. Why? For what? I want to be debt free. Okay, for what? What are you trying to do? I just don't want no bills. For what? What are you trying to do? Do you see what I'm saying? And they don't have no answer.
No, you don't have an answer because you were taught to pay your bills.
Well, maybe I will retire really good. Why do you think that's going to happen by paying all your bills off? Well, I won't have no bills. But how do you got money? How you going to have money coming in? By working. So you're going to still have to work even though the bills ain't there. So why? What are you doing? What's the... Do you see what I'm saying? What's your decision-making process? And they're making these decisions, again, with short-term thinking. Let me just pay off all the bills and guess what? I want to get the creditors off my back. Short-term thinking.
Wow.
And even if you know about credit, you don't go pay off every credit card and close them all. That's not what you do.
No, they teach you that, not to do that.
But I don't know, because I'm making short-term decisions and not thinking for the long game. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, that's what we were focused on today, is the decisions that money, the decision process. Well, how does it play into our money? And I'm not saying don't do none of that, but if I said to somebody, "Why are you paying all your bills off?" and they said, "Because da 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 da," so okay, then what's that going to do for you? Da 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 da. Okay, then what's that going to do for you?
Work to make the money, and make the money.
But all I want to know is you got a strategy. You see what I'm saying? Because the truth about long-term goals, you really should set your long-term goals first. And once you set your long-term goals, then guess what you do? You back up and set a short-term goal to hit the long-term goal. And then another, do you see what I'm saying? So a short-term goal, short-term goal, short-term goal, short-term goal. That leads you to the long-term goal. So you're not just doing stuff cause. So if you ask me, why are you investing? So I'm investing so I can retire well. Okay, well, what is retiring well going to do for you? It's going to allow me to travel and go see the grandkids and stuff like that. Okay, and then what's that going to do for you? It's going to ensure that I have a peaceful life as I retire. And I might even want to start a new company. I don't know. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything is for what? Okay, then for what? Okay, then for what? Okay, you understand what I'm saying? It all, and if you do your long-term goal, folks, and then back away and back away and back away and back away. You understand what I'm saying when I say that? Now I say, what's your short-term goal? This for what? For that? For what? For that? And then what's that gonna do? For this? Then what's that gonna do? Then I'm gonna hit that. What I've worked for my whole life, whatever that is. You see what I'm saying?
So let me ask you something about when you talk about, since say for instance, all of us in the room seem like we came up through church and so forth and tithing and so forth. So even though it's like a something that you were taught to give back into the ministry, to sowing of your seeds, to help to basically create like a reward in heaven, or just something that you're due. So every time that you give in church, your tithes or offering are beyond and above. And since I know people like overseas, I'm always helping other people. My family's there, I have friends there, so I'm always sowing into their lives too. If I have extra money, or even when I don't have extra money and they are, in dire need because it's more difficult over there. Should I always just like maybe ask or say something to God or pray about it, or just how should I basically go about
I'll say
that?
this.
You know what
I don't necessarily believe in this idea that I got to pray about everything.
Yeah.
You give it. And
but I do believe that if I live in a constant state of prayer, if you came to me and say, "Hey, Joseph, I got this great idea. Let's go start a baby beanie company. I already got the website up. All I need is $10,000, and we finna get rich selling beanie babies." I don't got to tell you I got to pray about that. I'm going to ask a few questions. Let me see the website. How many beanie babies do you have? How much did you pay for them? Do you have any other partners? Whatever. Then I would say, nah, not doing that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or I say, I'll ask you the question. Okay, I'm in. I believe that if I live in a constant state of prayer, I'm always, I have this thing. It's okay. They tell you that, you're supposed to give, right? Give in church, give in the community, give to your neighbor, give. And every time you get money in your hands, you have to remind yourself to give, or talk yourself into giving. We've been in these situations. Yes. Well, somebody told me one time, said, "No, Joseph, all you got to give it to God one time, and you never have to rethink giving again." You understand what I mean when I say that?
Make that a little bit more clear. When you say give it to God, because
everything I have is already the Lord's.
Yeah, that's it. Hey.
So I don't have to consider giving. Yeah, it's already not mine. Do you see what I'm saying? I gave it away one time. It's His. Now all I'm doing is putting it where He tells me to put it. So the same idea with prayer. I've told God this. God, my schedule is yours. It's good. Yours. It's already yours. I go where you say go. I do what you say do. And so if I'm headed to a meeting and it gets canceled and I wasn't expecting it to cancel, I don't be like, man, my schedule belongs to the God. So when it was like, man, okay, so now I got a free minute, and then somebody calls, say, I said, okay, I'll meet you there. I'm in the neighborhood. I can meet you right now. Wow. I said, good Lord, that's so. And I say, because my schedule belongs to God. I gave it to Him already. You see what I'm saying? So I just bounce around the world knowing that my schedule already belongs to God, and because I'm singing it just meet up. Somebody that called me because a meeting got canceled and be like, yeah, I'm around the corner at the I'm at Zaxby's on JTB and Phillips Highway. Dude, I'm like right here. I'll stop through. But who knew that my guy was going to cancel? And then God did. So when I talk about praying and about what to do and where to give it, I live in a state of prayer. So when a thing comes up, I don't gotta really, Lord God, what should I do in Jesus' name? I don't have to do that.
You have to do that.
You know what I'm saying? There's a verse that said, let peace be your umpire. Yes. You know that verse? Yeah. You know that verse? It's a verse that said, let peace, P-E-A-C-E, yeah. Right? Yeah, peace. Be your umpire. And people teach that verse, and they say, so people say, I got to pray and see if I got peace about that. You ever heard somebody say that?
Yeah, I've heard people say that.
And they be like, you ain't got to pray about that for peace? No, I don't have to.
God gives you the wisdom.
Watch this. If you really, what does an umpire do? You know baseball? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you know what the umpire does?
He has the big thing.
And he calls it out.
Yeah.
He calls it safe.
Yeah.
He calls it strike. Mm-hmm. That's what an umpire does. Right? Mm-hmm. So peace being my umpire, like John is the umpire of the game. Mm-hmm. You know, John right there sitting. You know, John is the umpire, but peace is the umpire. Mm-hmm. So guess what? I gotta always have peace. I don't gotta go see if I got peace. Peace is the umpire. So immediately, when it ain't peace, peace says, no, that's out. I don't have to go see if I have peace.
Yeah, about it.
So same idea. That's the concept. So when I get money, okay, God, God, what do I need to do with this money? Where does it go? Whose is it? How much do I spend on Joseph? And when I say consume on me, that means how much do I spend on me? You know, food, clothes. How much do I sow into me? You know, investments. And how much it belongs to my children? Because some of it belongs to my children and my children's children.
That's it.
The generations. It belongs to them. The Bible calls it your portion. And you're not supposed to eat off it more than your portion. If we were all sharing a cake here, you don't eat more than your portion. You eat your portion, I eat my, do you know what I'm saying? And so when you get your money, there's a portion that belongs to your grandchildren. There's a portion that belongs to your children. There's a portion that belongs to your neighbors, your community, your church. There's a portion that belongs to you. There's you know. Mm-hmm. And so if that's constantly your attitude, you don't have to say, okay, gosh, because, you know, again, now when you understand this stuff in that idea, if last week I paid your cell phone bill, and then next month I'm paying it again because you broke again, and I'm like, so when you say, hey, I need to pay my peace says no. I don't have to pray about it. My peace says no. But that's rude. That ain't rude. She's not good ground. I paid it twice already, and it's the same issue. And I told her, you know, and because when I help people, when I help individuals, I get in your business. Especially if it's somebody I know. So you walk up to me and say, hey man, I'm broke. I'm just tapped, man, and they finna turn the lights off. I got you, dude. I got you. I'm not gonna let your lights get turned off, but I need to ask you a few questions, like where you working at? Do you have any other bills that I paid? Are you eating okay? What are you doing with your money? I'm still working. Okay, where you work at? I work at Amazon. What you making? $25 an hour. And you're like, well, why are your lights getting turned off?
I understand.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Well, you being nosy. I have a right to be nosy. You just asked me for some money.
That's it.
You introduce me to your problems when you ask me to be the answer for your problems.
And if you come back to me,
and if you don't want me to be the answer for your problems, don't ask me for the money.
Right.
But that's rude. I don't care what you think, because I'm not gonna let your lights get turned off. But I'm finna empower you so it doesn't happen again.
Yeah. So you won't come back next month and ask.
Right.
I'm gonna say no because you know that it's something.
And then when I know you don't care, you don't want to do. Okay, I'm not finna message you. I don't have peace about that.
Yeah.
I had to pray about it. My peace said, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't keep sowing into folks that don't know what to do with their money. I don't keep sowing into folks with the same issue over and over and over again, because now I'm not a good steward over what God gave me. Because he told me don't sow into bad ground. He told me to sow into good ground. I'm supposed to be producing fruit.
That's good.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, it comes back down to the question: what are you doing? What are you trying to do? Why you just been in there? Who told you to do that? Who told you had to do that? What the Bible say? No, the Bible says it, but even as the Bible says it, explain it, make it make sense. Why? Which part? You understand what I'm saying? So you can't just be dealing with your money frivolously. It can't be quick and short term and short sighted. It can't be like that. And I don't mean that you got to take a million years to make a decision. That's not what I mean when I say short sighted. I mean short sighted where you're only looking at right here.
Today.
That's what I'm talking about. You can make it fast, but it has to be a bigger picture than just right now. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I'm asking you about your day. Which is why I'm asking you about your check. Which is why I'm asking you about the rest of your bills. Because I'm looking at next month and the month after that. Because what I'm showing you right now is I'm the guy you can come to for money. So I got to look at next month so we don't keep doing this. So I'm not going to make a short-sighted decision. Does that make sense? Because I'm already aware that I'm showing you, I'm sowing into you when I give you money that I can be a resource for your money. So I also got to let you know this ain't finna keep happening. What can I do for you to help to make sure this don't happen? Long-sighted.
That's good.
Does that make sense?
So when it comes to the church and you're basically used to giving because this is how you were brought up, this is how you're taught. I mean, and you don't have to, think outside of the box. Okay, should I give, or what percentage should I give? I mean, that is something that you're just really giving into God. But I mean, should you basically be saying like, a prayer behind it, or God, let it be useful? If you know that this is a church that they're doing things
if I'm at the church, I already believe that they're using it for the right thing.
Right.
So I don't have to pray that.
You see the growth. You see what they're doing.
Right.
You see how
If I don't believe that, I'm leaving.
Right.
I'm not going to stay there and stop giving, because stop giving is never the answer.
Yeah.
So I got to leave there. And
sow into other.
And that's right.
I
don't even sow into all churches.
Oh no.
If this is just me, you ain't got to do this. If I'm at a church and it's raggedy, it's dirty, it's holes and stuff, and I'm not sowing here, because worst case scenario, it can be clean and neat. This is not good ground.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right. Not taking the action, not taking care of what they have.
Right. So I'm not no dummy. This ain't good ground, and I'm not judging y'all.
Right.
I'm not trying to do that, but I am responsible for where I sow my seed.
Yeah.
Now, if that pastor came to me and said, "Hey, Joe, we finna lose the building," I might say, "Okay, what's going on? How many people? And I may help out with that because I'm supplying a need, because my God shall supply my needs. But I'm not sowing into that expecting a harvest in my life, because y'all are not good ground. Right. I'm sowing into that for one of my needs to be met one day. You understand what I'm saying? But I sow my money and my time for a return in good ground. And people that I can tell, like I learned this years ago. Some people don't agree with it, but I like the idea, and I understand the concept probably needs to be tweaked a little bit. But I don't help where I'm needed. I help where I'm deserved. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of people that need what I'm saying. But I'm not finna give that to you if you're not willing to pay for it.
Right.
Or help me do what I'm trying to do. With what I'm doing, so I can sow this into you. Or you're extremely coachable, and when I come back, you showing me fruit after fruit after fruit after fruit. That person is worthy of me spending a little time with them. Right. So I don't just look at somebody and say they broke, they need. No, I don't help who needs it. I help who deserves it. I help who shows sign of I'm going to take what you're giving me and produce fruit with it. I'm not going to keep having you pay my light bill and keep coming up broke every month. That guy he's not worth my time.
That's good.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. That is excellent.
So again, it comes back down to how are you making your decisions with your money? How are you making them? What are you trying to do? Where are you getting the ideas from? And in the beginning, you may need to just stop and say, "Okay, Lord, show me what to do with this money here." How you doing?
Hello.
You see what I'm saying? So that it may be that in the beginning. You may need to set it sometime and just say, "God, help me to see it. Show me what to do. How much should be done with me? What should it be?" But after a while, peace should just be your umpire. Yeah. You live in this state of peace, and as soon as it ain't peaceful, strike one, strike two, you're out. And you don't got to go pray and see if you got peace about it. I live with peace. And as soon as you ain't peace say,
Stop.
What you do, a reverse backwards?
Yeah, it takes no
you reroute
whole lot of
you
know what I'm saying?
Planning, decision, thinking, praying about it.
It's like putting your finger in the fire. You don't have to say, "I'm gonna see if this is hot." As soon as you touch it, you know that it is. And that's how you should live with this peace.
Yeah.
And anything that's outside of that peace, you instantly know, because peace is your umpire. And it's like, strike one, strike two, you're out. Or or curveball, foul. And peace is just telling you what to do. I don't have, and you ain't got to pray about it. I just don't have peace here. You got to pray about it? No, I don't have to pray about it. I know. Can you help me out with this? I ain't got peace about it. Can you help me do this? Yeah, I got you. You ain't got to pray about it? Oh, I feel peace.
That's good.
Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah, you're not looking for peace. You live in peace. And as soon as it ain't peace, you know it automatically because it ain't peace. Anyways, so when you leave here today, just really go out with this idea, what am I doing? How am I making decisions? Am I making decisions with critical thought? Am I making decisions with the idea of what am I trying to do here? Don't just make a decision. What am I trying to do? What am I trying to create? What am I going after? Are you going after a good retirement? Then make decisions in line with that and back up. Even if you get down to the short term, it's backed up from that. I'm gonna leave something for the grandbabies. It's backed up from that. You know what I'm saying? I just wanna have enough money to do what I want to do when I want to do it. It's backed up from that. You see what I'm saying? And that makes sense. So don't just be making decisions. What am I trying to accomplish? People, I just want to be debt free. Why? And I'm not saying anything's wrong with it. I just want you to know why.
Why you want to be debt free?
People say, well, I just don't want no bills. Why?
Why you don't want to have no bills?
Well, why? And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So start thinking like that. And I'm gonna ask y'all next class, because if you really are thinking like that, next time you get paychecks, you're both gonna get a paycheck one of these days. You should be able to start asking yourself some different questions, and you should get some creative juices flowing, and some critical thinking happening, and some honesty. Because honesty, when you start asking these kind of questions to yourself, honesty is right around the corner. You're gonna smack dab in the honesty. Why are you doing that? Because such and such. But why? Because I even do this to myself. Why are you upset with that lady? Because she shouldn't have said that. But why does that make you upset? What does that do to you? Well, it makes you feel bad. But so what? Why are you mad about that? Well, because she didn't have no right to do that. So what though? But why are you mad because she didn't have a right? A lot of people do stuff they ain't got a right to do. Why are you mad at that? And eventually you're gonna hit the truth. Well, because it hit my ego. Oh, so it's pride. Yeah. Let it go then. You see what I'm saying? So when you start asking yourself, why? What are you do? What are you trying to do here? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Why you think that? Why you feel that? You gonna run into truth. You're gonna slap right into it, and you're gonna realize fear. That's what it was. Man, pride. That's what it was. Just me being selfish. That's what it was. Typically, that's the answer to most of the stuff we deal with. Cool. Sometimes look on your face making me say you mad at me. You look at me like this joker did not just say.
This is good.
Yes.
I'm just basically tired, so I'm like, for me to sit still, I need to be up and moving.
Gotcha.
Because I didn't sleep. I've been on the move.
Oh, so she looking at me like, will he be quiet so I can take a nap, please?
That kind of love. No, I'm just ready to get up and move.
That's what's up. All right, so I'm gonna ask about this next time we meet. So in about 2 weeks, you should have some really good testimonial type stuff of what you've experienced, what you notice in yourself as you make decisions, as you ask these type questions. What am I doing? Why? What is for? You know what I'm saying? And you should really come to some personal revelation. Because again, I'm trying to posture you for the next stage of class when it's go out and make this money. Cool deal?
It's good.
All right.
I think I'll do that with my grandson.